Hey, this is Carlos Cavallo from DatingAdviceGuru.com. Now, you've probably heard the expression, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, in a relationship, some words can be loaded with 1,000 meanings. So today what we're going to talk about is what you shouldn't talk about. That's right, 7 things you should never say to a guy. In this video, you're going to discover why he hates it when you bring up another guy. You're going to find out what to not say in the bedroom and how to deal with his pet peeves. See, the fact is that guys are hardwired in a certain way, and there are certain phrases that he will simply just not respond well to. They'll probably piss him off even if he didn't mean to. The wrong combination of words could really cut him down, so you got to avoid saying certain things. Well, number 1 is, you should totally hang out with Jeff. He's a cool guy. Well, let me clear this up. The person that you mentioned could be any guy that he might have perceived as being a threat, and that includes your best friend's boyfriend, a coworker, somebody that you're just friends with that happens to be a guy. Either way, if he isn't your brother, your cousin, or anyone else you're related to, it's best to not force a friendship on a guy this way. It just doesn't work. Hey, I know you have the best intentions, but you know what? He still won't appreciate any meddling or control in his social life, so you might want to leave that one out. What did you just say? Number 2, Sigh, is that it? Yeah, for some reason, jumping in the sack with this guy may not have lived up to the hype for you. However, it's still a horrible thing to say to a guy that you're going to bed with for the first time, okay? Especially if you didn't quite live up to that hype. Whether you just wanted to be friends with benefits or something more serious in mind, your guy is going to be pretty much, well, he's going to be emotionally invested in his own performance. So letting your disappointment slip out like this would still wound his pride no matter what. I mean, let's face it, you'd be pretty pissed if he said something like that at a critical moment when you're in the bedroom, right? We all have an emotional stake in our sexual performance. Yeah, I know there's a place for brutal honesty when it's required, but don't do it out of spite or anger or wrath. And if you want to hook up with this guy again, you'll have your opportunity to correct him in the very near future. Hurtful phrase number 3 is, are you really going out in that? Look, most guys are, well, they aren't likely to be as fashion savvy as you are or even any of your girlfriends, and it's just going to be a fact of life. If his choice in clothes is a little too tacky for your taste, well, fight that urge to sound a little bit critical. Remember, guys are very, very hurt by women's criticism. The best thing you can do is slowly upgrade his wardrobe. Just do it one item at a time. It's a longer route, but yeah, it's worth it. And it's actually the one that shows that you're sensitive to how he feels. Remember, subtlety is the key. Don't be pushy about it, and don't give him an entire wardrobe cleaning in one shot. Just do it every 1 or 2 weeks so he can gradually step out of his fashion comfort zone and then open up to new options. Who knows? In time, he might finally ditch those 90s embroidered jeans and opt for something a little bit more modern. Argument trigger number 4 is, can you just chill out? We're not that late. Honestly, this particular one, it used to bother me in the past. Think of this as being the male equivalent of calm down or relax. How do you respond to that one? Probably not so good, huh? It creates the opposite effect of what you want it to. If the event you're going to is important to him, treating it like it's no big deal is just going to make him even more angered and flustered. The next time this happens, here's a better alternative for you. Sorry, honey, or whatever your pet name is, I know this matters to you. I'll make sure to remember that. That's all you got to do. Acknowledge that it's important to him. Just like you, it's a huge relief to your guy just to acknowledge that he's upset. It takes the edge off and, well, just slip that one in if something seems to be annoying him. Number 5 is saying, are you there yet? Yeah, again, we're back in the bedroom. We're not on the road. Like I said earlier, there really isn't much room for criticism when it comes to bedroom matters. There might be times when he'll take a little too long to finish because things, well, let's face it, sometimes he might go quick the first time and a little too slow the second time. Hey, it happens. Either way, reserve your commentary for post-game discussion. In other words, long after you're both out of the bedroom. If you tell him this while you're in the thick of it, it's just not going to improve anything. Instead, you can put a little bit of a sexy spin on it. Say something along the lines of, you're so close now, aren't you? Kind of give him a little bit of dirty talk to help him move along. That'll have a much better effect. And I can't believe you said that number 6 is, are you going to get that raise or promotion soon? This one's for couples that are living together or have been together for a while and you've got a much more established relationship. A man already feels a lot of pressure to provide, so if he feels like he's getting more pressure from you than support, well, it's going to bruise his self-esteem and it's not going to make your relationship any stronger. He might fire back, act defensive, which then starts a back and forth cycle of arguments. And I'm guessing that's something you want to steer clear of. And if you do, there's a better way of handling things. If you see that he's stuck in a job with no growth and no pay, what you can do is give him some ideas of other job opportunities, but make sure you're always giving him support when it comes to providing. It's extremely important for guys. And number 7, never tell your guy this. Nah, I'm not really into that anymore. For the women who are more into your relationship and have settled down maybe a little bit more seriously, you might feel like you've given up a little bit of your fun-loving side. Well, you don't want him to think that. See, people do change over time. I'm not saying your definition of fun shouldn't change, but maybe watching a concert till the late hours in the morning is no longer your idea of a fun night out, and that's cool. All I'm saying is you don't want to tell your guy that you've totally closed that chapter of your life. You know, the fun part. He doesn't want to think that the relationship means you guys are now going to be all settled in, humdrum, and bored. He needs the novelty. Believe me, if he thinks that things are slowing down and this is what it's going to be like for the next 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 years, well, it's not exactly going to be an exciting thought for him. Instead, you can suggest that you've just decided to dial it down a few notches. If you want to do other stuff, it's better to talk to him about that instead. Bring up the events or places you want to check out. Focus on the now, but don't shut out your past completely or your occasionally unpredictable side. Remember, novelty keeps him excited. Did you know the right words can convince a guy that you're his soulmate? See, guys have certain switches in their head that'll make him decide if he should move forward with you and move forward with a relationship, or without you. And as I've shown you here, the wrong words will actually flip the switches, well, the bad switches, and the right words can trigger him to commit to you forever. And you got to know the difference. If you'd like to discover how to make your man choose you as his soulmate, you can go on over to datingadviceguru.com/soulmates. That's datingadviceguru.com/soulmates. Or I've got a little video that I think you probably want to see about what makes a man want you for his soulmate and keep you for the long run. Hey, this is Carlos Cavallo. It's been great talking to you. Go on over to datingadviceguru.com/soulmates, and I'll be talking again soon.